Hi everyone, my name is Shen and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of CRUST Group. Thanks Delegate for having us here at the Virtual Green Christmas Market. We're really excited to be here and I'm excited to share more with you today about what we're doing at CRUST Group to tackle this massively underserved problem of food waste and loss, and to also share a little bit more about our products. So firstly, I wanted to share a little bit about how big our food waste problem really is. We waste about a third of the food we produce, or 1.3 billion tons a year. All that food waste amounts to about 750 billion in economic value, according to the UN. Food waste is responsible for more than the combined GDP of Saudi Arabia and Cyprus. And as if wasting food instead of feeding hungry people wasn't bad enough, food waste and loss also contribute significantly to global warming, specifically about 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. That's 4 times as much greenhouse gas emissions as the entire aviation industry. So this is because most food waste ends up in our landfill, where it decomposes in the absence of oxygen and releases methane, which is a greenhouse gas that is up to 30 times more harmful than carbon dioxide. And if food waste were a country, it'd be the 3rd largest greenhouse gas emitting country after the US and China. So just let that sink in for a moment. Specifically looking into the hospitality and food and beverage industry, 5.7 million tons of food is wasted on airlines yearly, while anywhere between 20 to 45% of food is wasted across food service, retail, and hotels every year. Food waste and loss is just one of the biggest yet most underrated problems of the 21st century. And the reality is food waste and loss is really hard to manage. Furthermore, from 2024, new regulation from the National Environmental Agency of Singapore will actually require businesses that generate a lot of food waste to treat it. So this is where we at CRUST Group come in to solve the prevalence of food waste and provide value back to businesses in food service and retail, all while trying to build a more robust waste management ecosystem and also bring about more innovative approaches to upcycling our food. So our mission is to empower businesses in food service and retail to upcycle their food waste and loss and to reduce global food loss by 1% by 2030. Based on our belief in a more circular economy, where a food tech startup that valorizes surplus food into unique products and beverages for our food service and retail partners. Surplus ingredients like bread and fruit peels are reincarnated into products via our 2 brands, CRUST, our line of sustainable artisan beers, and Crop, our line of non-alcoholic beverages made from fruit waste. So far, we've been able to save 400 kilograms of food loss, and also reduce about 9,000 kilograms of CO2. At CRUST, we really pride ourselves on being able to valorize a range of food waste and loss for our partners. So far, we've been able to upcycle all kinds of bread, grains like rice, quinoa, oats, spent and stale coffee grounds, surplus fruit and veg, including the peels, seeds, husks, cacao husks, tea leaves, and even tropical plants like ulam raja into our unique beverages. So I'd like to take a moment to really highlight and talk you through some of the products that we actually are offering today on Delegate's Green Christmas Market platform. The first product is our flagship golden ale called the Breaking Bread Ale. So it's a crisp and light beer with toasty bread, citrus, and floral notes with a malt finish. Following this is our flagship IPA called I Need an Easy IPA. So this IPA is really hoppy, herbal, and malty. It kind of leans on the drier side with a slight woody finish. The next is our Beer Get, which is our collaboration brew with Tiong Bahru Bakery in Singapore using their surplus baguettes. So this is a Pilsner style beer that is really light and refreshing with kind of cereal and tropical fruit notes. And lastly, our Kaya Toast Stout. So this is our seasonal brew with the 1925 Brewing Company. This stout is pretty rich and has kind of sweet aromatic notes of pandan and coconut, followed by a bit of vanilla creaminess and It finishes with that kind of nutty toasted notes that you'd expect in a stout. So we call this a Singaporean breakfast with a twist in a bottle. So everyone here today will be getting a 10% automatic discount on our flagship beers, the Breaking Bread Ale, the I Need an Easy IPA, and our Beer Get when you buy today on Delegate's platform. We're also offering 2 mixed pack options, a variety pack with 4 bottles, each of our 3 flagship beers, and a Kaya Toast mixed pack with 3 bottles of all the beers that you're seeing here. So please do check out these unique and delicious beers that are making a difference on the market platform today. So in terms of our major customers and partners, we're currently working with the following retail and food and beverage partners like FairPrice, Red Mart, Marina Bay Sands, Tiong Bahru Bakery, Smoke and Mirrors Bar, and more. You can actually check out the full list of where you can find our CRUST beers if you go on our website, www.crustbrewing.com/stockist-index. And that's where you'll be able to find us at all the bars and kind of restaurants that we're at in Singapore. We're also working actually closely with Alba Group, bringing them in as our waste management and logistics partner. We're also using them as our food loss provider to develop Crop, which is our line of non-alcoholic beverages. In terms of some pipeline partnerships, we're working closely with Dole, Kellogg's, Better Barista, CP Group, and Japan Tobacco on proof of concept R&D. So how do we actually work with our partners in food service and retail? So we actually, retailers and food and beverage chains, they produce tons of surplus food that is costly to lose and even more costly to dispose of. So we provide value by being their R&D partner, giving their food loss a new lease of life. So by partnering with us, they are able to save costs, all while gaining a unique co-branded product, additional revenue per bottle, and a sustainability story to tell. So our goal is really to empower businesses in food service and retail to be able to reduce their food waste and to create new value from their food waste and loss. So through our sustainable unique label model, we act as the R&D platform for these partners. We provide them with a co-branded product. We take on the logistics of managing food waste. And for each kind of contract, we charge a setup fee, a recipe formulation fee, and also a set MOQ price per bottle. At CRUST Group, we have big plans to expand into new markets. We're already actually setting up CRUST Japan by the end of this year and are working closely with our partners in Thailand to launch there next year. So this is the CRUST Group core team. We all have a vast range of different backgrounds and experiences, but we're all extremely passionate about creating a more circular economy. So we believe what we're doing at CRUST Group is playing a really important role in tackling multiple UN Sustainable Development Goals. We're contributing towards goal number 2, zero hunger, by ensuring that the third of the food we produce is not wasted and instead being repurposed into high value products. We contribute to goals number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, as well as goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities, by building a more resilient waste management ecosystem in cities like Singapore, and also fostering more innovation in repurposing our food waste and loss. We're also tackling goal number 12, responsible consumption and production, by empowering both consumers and businesses to consume more responsibly. And lastly, goal number 13, climate action. Again, food waste and loss contributes 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. So what we're doing here at CRUST to reduce food waste and loss is really also trying to combat climate change. So we welcome you to join us on our mission to reduce global food loss by 1% by 2030. And we hope that you will, consume more consciously and also support products like ours that are, creating a more circular economy. So you do check out our products here today on the market platform. Thank you, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Hi everyone, my name is Shen. I'm the CMO of CRUST Group. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have and happy to take any questions, or if you just want to chat about anything to do with CRUST Group. Okay, I have a question. So where can we find CRUST beers in stores? So you can go onto our actually new website that we just launched, www.crust-group.com, where you can find all the restaurants and bars that we're currently in. And that list is always changing. So I will actually put the link in the chat box right now, and then you can take a look where we are there. So do we accept bread donations? That's a hard question to answer without knowing too many details, but we would have to understand, where it's come from and how long it's been past the kind of expiration date and the volume as well. So definitely email us if you would like to give us the bread donations. I'll type our email here. Okay, what is my favorite flavor? I think you could tell from my presentation that I really enjoy talking about the Kaya Toast Stout. So that one is a really kind of unique product that was born out of just this kind of crazy idea of trying to create like a traditional Singaporean breakfast that's just kind of reimagined at night and with a twist. So it has a lot of kind of like buttery, creamy notes, but also kind of like toastiness, like a stout. So that one is really, really interesting. Do we have Christmas hampers? We actually are just going to be launching one tomorrow. So we are creating an eco-holiday gift set, and we've partnered with a bunch of eco-conscious and sustainably aligned brands. So one of them is What If Foods. They're a food company that uses kind of future fit crops and plant-based ingredients to create things like noodles, shakes. They also create soups. So we're including their taster pack in our gift set, as well as this company called My Pure Earth, sustainably and ethically sourced essential oils and a ceramic diffuser, as well as including this company called Nature Leaf, which creates all natural supplements that boost your immunity. So yeah, we're really excited to launch that Christmas hamper tomorrow. So do check it out on our website. It's also a really good deal in terms of getting all those items in one bundle and supporting a bunch of eco-conscious brands to help you kind of give more consciously and with purpose this holiday season. So that will be live on our website tomorrow. Okay, I'm seeing some questions in the chat. Once the bread is expired, how long more can it last before CRUST can use it? I'm probably not the best person to answer this question because I'm operate more on the marketing and branding side. So I would have to probably ask our ops team this. But what I will say is that most products, even though there is an expiry date, a lot of bread, that the expiry date is only the date where the store and supermarket is not supposed to sell it by. But the product can actually last much longer, especially a lot of kind of bread like gardenia that we actually use. That contains maybe more preservatives that actually preserve the bread for a longer period of time, or different methods of food, producing food that create a longer kind of expiration date. But a lot of companies put an earlier date so that the supermarket isn't liable, or the company isn't liable for something that could potentially go bad before the date. So that is a tougher question that our ops team could probably answer. Do you guys make products other than beer? So we currently are actually doing a lot of R&D for another line of product that I mentioned called Crop, which is our non-alcoholic beverage line. So that product line, I won't reveal too much, but it's a lot of kind of functional, it'll be a bunch of functional drinks, like, that kind of tap into your gut health, health and wellness, being plant-based, that use fruit and veg waste and loss. So yes, we are going beyond alcoholic beverages like beer, and we'll be creating a line of product that is non-alcoholic called Crop. And that's probably coming in January. Does using different types of bread, white, wholemeal, etc., give you different results? Yes, because different types of bread have different kind of sugar levels for us to work with, as well as the fact that they contain different types of grain. So different types of kind of grain taste profiles. So we've actually even worked with things like quinoa, and quinoa might be something that is in bread as well, and it gives the beer kind of a greater nuttiness and toastiness. So yes, the type of bread does kind of affect the taste profile of the beer, and so it would depend what we use. Do you have a factory tour? Currently we don't. So we actually co-manufacture right now. But that would be because we'd love to be very transparent with people and show people how we actually produce our beverages and products. But yeah, we're currently still, a small company, so we co-manufacture. But that is a great idea, having a factory tour, and also educating consumers about, what we do in terms of trying to upcycle food. Yeah, that's a great idea that hopefully will be in the pipeline. Do you have any suggestions to cut down food waste? Okay, so when we look at food waste, there's different levels of food waste at different levels of the food chain. So I'm assuming you're asking kind of at the consumer level, how can we, as individuals, consumers like you and me, cut down on food waste? So things like, actually, our company was started on the belief of, again, maximizing resources. And our founder, Travin, was really inspired to start the company because when he was growing up, his mom really had this like maximizing your resources mentality where, even if she had leftovers the next day, she would incorporate it into like a new meal, or, use the same ingredients and leftovers for another purpose. And so that is a really core belief in the company. And so yeah, that is one suggestion, right? Like if you have leftovers, make sure you eat them, or incorporate them into another meal. Like I always, use my leftovers, I eat it, and I pack my leftovers. Another one is make sure that you're aware of what's in your fridge and, your kitchen, so that you are using all the ingredients in whatever you're cooking, and you're not kind of leaving it there and forgetting about it, and then, it expires and then it becomes waste. Same with when you go out to eat, make sure you are not, also ordering and buying more than you will actually eat. But yeah, I think the kitchen one is a big one, because I think a lot of consumer level waste is actually in the kitchen, where we don't use our products and it ends up in the bin because we forget about them. Yeah, I mean, there's other at the retail level, it's a different story, because of course it's also a cosmetic, we like perfection and things, we care about cosmetic perfection. And so at the retail level, a huge source of food waste at the retail level is because we pick, we touch all the fruits and we pick the nicest looking one because we care about it looking perfect. Like all of us have gone to the supermarket and pick, touch every single peach to find the most perfect plump peach, or the bunch of bananas that is not, black and all around. But the reality is that is a huge reason why, supermarkets end up with waste, because a lot of the kind of uglier looking fruit that has been bruised or maybe have imperfections aren't being chosen by consumers like you and me. So that is also another way that you can cut down on waste, by, not discriminating against ugly fruit and vegetables or products, because, it's probably just as good. It's just that it might not look as good on the outside. So don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, thank you everyone for your questions and for engaging and listening. I'm gonna pop our socials as well as our email in the chat, so feel free to contact us, and definitely follow us. For those of you who are interested in the Christmas hamper, we'll be announcing that and featuring all the incredible eco-conscious brands that we're working with over the next few weeks, and you can basically pre-order the gift set in time for Christmas as well as New Year.